The 2019 Raptors deserve way more respect than they get. Here's my ranking, and I have them all the way up at third after looking into everything. People love to downplay just how good that Toronto squad was, and it always comes back to the same tired excuse, but the Warriors were hurt. If the 2019 Warriors were fully healthy, they're beating every team on this list. But even without KD, that Golden State team was better than a few of the ones that lost in the finals to some of these other champs. Yes, Klay missed a game and left early in another, but when he was playing, the Raptors were 2-2. And in game 6, when he tore his ACL, it was basically a tied game late in the third, and the Raptors were already up in the series 3-2. Now on paper, Toronto's offense was the worst of any of these champs. They shot 44.4% from the field, which was the lowest amongst all these teams, as their shooting ranged from 45.6 to 49.2. And in pretty much every other offensive category, it's a similar story for Toronto. They're not drastically worse than any of them, but they're at the bottom. But their defense offset a lot of that. I mean, if you look at the difference between their field goal percentage to what their opponent shots, they have the second best differential to only OKC this year. Now, their key on offense was Kawhi. He had one of the more impressive playoff runs we've seen in this time frame, with the second highest scoring average of any player across these 7 playoffs. It wasn't all him though, as if you watched the games, you knew that the Raptors had guys that could get buckets when it mattered most. And in the finals, they step up offensively in a way that no one on this list has as a unit. They were the only team that had their top 6 scorers average double digits and shoot better than 40% from the field. Their defense was their moneymaker, though. I think it's criminal how rarely they're discussed amongst some of the best defensive units that have won recently. They honestly have an argument to be number 1. They held teams to the lowest field goal percentage and worst three-point shooting. They allowed the fewest total field goals and points in the paint. They had the best defensive rating, and they forced the second most turnovers behind this year's Thunder. It's not like they did this against easy competition either. They defeated a top-heavy but still very competitive Sixers squad and a 60-win Bucks team, all while holding superstars like Joel and Giannis to significantly lower point totals and field goal shooting than they did in the regular season. Honestly, the Raptors had one of the tougher paths to the finals of any of these recent champs. And like I said, multiple others had easier finals matchups as well. The constant dismissal of what they achieved just because Golden State got hurt is a ridiculous narrative. I don't understand why people refuse to look into what they accomplished and acknowledge how good they truly were.